Welcome back. I'm Kevin Rutherford. So it looked like I was either going to have to talk for 3 hours or we were going to have to put a replay on, and we absolutely didn't want to do that. So Lisa saved the day. Grab something to write with, because we figured out a way to salvage the show today. She's got some calls lined up for me. I'm going to get to those here in just a second, but I want to make sure you have a way to get in. Here's what we're going to do. You are going to text your number. If you have a question, a comment, a topic, you want to jump in and join me. A little different today, but we're going to make this work. You're going to text your phone number to Lisa, and Lisa's going to call you from the switchboard. Or you can send Lisa an instant message on Facebook if you want. She's monitoring Facebook as well. But if you want to send a text directly to her phone, text your phone number, and she'll call you back from the switchboard. So send that text to 330-519-3954. Give that to you again. Text your phone number to 330-519-3954. And we'll reach out to you, and we'll get you on the air. I'm going to go back to the calls. Lisa worked hard and got some lined up for me here, and I'm going to go back to Dale. So, Dale, let's talk about the weather. I thought I was going to join Dorothy and Toto this morning. We were under hurricane warnings or tornadoes. It was crazy here. Wow. That's a lot. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, absolutely. No question about it. It's time to this is the time of year to slow down. Don't get in a big rush. It's I hate to have to say this, but I still see people posting on Facebook constantly about how ELDs are making them rush. That ELD can't make you do anything. And there's not a load around that's worth your life or anybody else's. So, forget the ELD and just slow down and take it easy. So, great public service announcement there. Now that I've got you on the line, I have a very interesting law enforcement tale to tell you. And it's a cautionary tale. So, before I headed down to Fort Worth, I spent my last night in Amarillo, put me like 6 hours away from Fort Worth, and I was plenty of time. I wasn't in any big hurry. I got up in Amarillo Thursday morning, and I didn't really have to be in Fort Worth till Friday night. So I was taking my time, and what is that, I forget it's that 4-lane divided that goes all the way from Amarillo down to Fort Worth, and feels like about 30 little towns, and the speed limit is 75 miles an hour on that road. First of all, I never drive 75. I usually set my cruise at 60, and I wasn't in a hurry that day. But as you come into the towns, it goes 75, 65, 55, 45, all the way down to 35. Then you get to the other side, you go to 75. The day that I was going through there, I have never seen so many cops in my life. There were highway patrol, county sheriffs, and local city cops in every little town, and they were pulling everybody over. And I thought, okay, I'm not getting a ticket. Every time I saw a sign, and my GPS warns me, speed limit's changing, I would reset my cruise control to 1 mile an hour under that speed. So there was no way I was speeding. And I was coming through Childress, Texas, and came into town, didn't see any cops, set my cruise down to 34 right as I was coming through town. I was almost out the other side of town, and I saw a local cop sitting off on a parking lot to my right. Well, as soon as I went past him, he came out and got right in behind me. And I thought, well, that's a little weird. And then another one came from the left and pulled up beside me and was flanking me, and they were both following me. I thought, wonder if there's, my satellite dish is falling off or something. So, sure enough, they hit the lights and pull me over. I thought, So I got out because, you get out of the RV on the right side, and I just got out and stood on the sidewalk. And he walked up. He was super nice. But he walked up and he said, "You came into town a little fast." And I thought, wonder how he knows that, because he was at the end of town. And I thought, well, maybe I didn't see any other cars, but I know I didn't come into town fast because I set my cruise right at each speed limit sign. So I thought, well, I'm just going to be really polite. And I said, I thought I was paying attention. Maybe I just missed a sign. And he said, well, that's no big deal. Don't worry about it. He said, but I just know, a vehicle that size is hard to slow down. I'm like, all right. So he says, come on back. So I go back. I sit in his car. He's talking, asking me about the coach, asked me where I was going. I said, on my way to Landstar. He said, oh, yeah, we see those guys here in town all the time. So he's just about to let me, I don't even think he's going to give me a warning. He's just going to let me go. I thought, I wonder why he even bothered pulling me over. Right at that minute, the radio comes back on because he ran my driver's license, and they rattled off a list of violations going all the way back to 2006. DUI, unauthorized use of a motor vehicle, stolen credit cards. I mean, at one point, I just wasn't even hearing them anymore. And I looked at him and I said, "Officer, I know you probably hear this a lot, but none of those are mine." I said, "I haven't had a ticket in 10 years. I said, "I can't even remember the last time I had a ticket." And he looked at me and he said, "Have you ever been in jail?" And I said, "No." He said, "When was the last time you were in jail?" And I said, "Well, when I was 20, I got in a fight while I was in the Army and spent the weekend in jail, but that was the last time." And he said, "Is there anything in that coach I need to know about?" And I thought, this is not looking good. Yeah, so before I got out of there, I ended up with over $500 worth of fines. And there was no way I was going to fight it. What are you going to do? Because his whole demeanor changed. He went from absolutely friendly to, "I could lock you up right now." And I thought, this is really bad. So I left there and I thought, well, that's just odd. So I have a couple friends in law enforcement. I had them run my driver's license. Nothing came back. I belonged to LifeLock. I had LifeLock do a nationwide search. Not one single violation. I think the whole thing is a scam. Yeah. I talked to Bruce about this. Bruce talks to a lot of owner-operators, and he said, Childress, Texas. He says, that sounds familiar. He said, a couple of years ago, I had a bunch of owner-operators complain that there was a little town in Texas, and I think that was the one, that was pulling them over, writing tickets for all kinds of things that they hadn't even done. And, everybody wants to say they didn't do anything, but he said one owner-operator that he knows of got pulled over. The truck he bought had been wrecked, so he replaced the cab on it with a salvage cab. So the cab VIN didn't match the VIN of the vehicle, and they confiscated the vehicle, And while he was fighting it, trying to get it back, he had a heart attack and died. Yeah. And he thinks it was the same town. He wasn't sure. He said, but boy, that really sounds familiar. So, just a warning, if you happen to be going from Amarillo down to Fort Worth, whatever that route is, I forget what it is now, be very careful when you go through Childress, Texas. And I looked on the map. Yeah, there's no way around it. No easy way, anyway. Hey, Dale, there's the music. Thanks for putting up with my tale. I've got some more calls. We're going to get to them right after this break. Stick around. I'm Kevin Rutherford.